Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tom LaHue, and we're going to talk about motivation. One of my favorite topics. As an Enneagram Type 7, we're called the enthusiast, and there's nothing we love better than having something to be excited about, having something to be passionate about. And if we don't have that, I can start to feel like, what's wrong with life? Why am I feeling discouraged? It's hard to do your work when you don't feel motivated. And motivation and discipline, they go together. We're going to talk about in this video the secret to staying motivated even when you don't feel very motivated. All right, guys, so we're going to talk about staying motivated. When you are excited about your job or you're excited about what has to be done today, it's so much easier to do your work. It feels like you're kind of like running downhill. You're building momentum. But when you're not interested in your job or you're not interested in some task that has to be done, whether it's writing a book report or whether it's, in school or whether it's getting some project done at work that nobody's collaborating on, whatever it is, it just feels like you're running uphill. It feels like you have no energy to move forward and accomplish what needs to be done. And we're going to talk about how to stay motivated even when you aren't motivated. So I think this keeps a lot of people stuck. They kind of wake up and think, well, if I'm not motivated, well, then what am I supposed to do? I've got to be true to myself. I've got to be true to my authentic self. And since I'm not motivated, then I guess I just can't go forward. Well, it's not true. You don't wake up every day feeling super motivated for your job or feeling super motivated to work on your marriage or to work on your devotional life or your spiritual life. You don't wake up every day ready to conquer the world. And so if you're just kind of sitting there waiting for something to happen, waiting for a voice to come from the sky to tell you, let me energize you and let me get you excited about this, you may find yourself waiting for a long time. The truth is, motivation isn't always something that you feel first and then act on. Sometimes motivation comes after you start taking right action. After you start moving forward and you start making progress, sometimes that's when motivation starts to hit you. In other words, it kind of catches up with you. Wouldn't it be great if you woke up today excited about getting in shape? And everything within you just felt like this is the right thing to do, and I want to do it now, and I'm going to diet and eat right, and I'm going to exercise and work out. But a lot of times you don't feel that way. What do you do then? Do you just not go to the gym? Do you just not eat a healthy diet? Sometimes you have to get on the treadmill and start walking before you start to see any progress. And as you get healthier, and as you discipline yourself and you start to accomplish little goals and celebrate those goals, you then find yourself feeling more and more motivated. So motivation a lot of times follows action, not the other way around. I mean, it's great when it happens, when you just get excited about something and then can start to make progress. But a lot of times we can't wait to feel motivated before we start to take action. We can't wait to feel the way we would like to feel before we start to do what needs to be done. And this is a real challenge for many of us to understand and accept this in life. We can't wait till we feel like getting our work done or writing that next chapter or that next paragraph, or wait till we feel like making that phone call to that old friend. Sometimes action has to come first. Sometimes we have to make a decision whether or not we feel like we want to follow through on that decision. We have to make ourselves do what needs to be done. And that is called discipline. When we don't feel motivated, what do? We discipline ourselves. We make ourselves do what is responsible and right. And the reality is often we're much happier that we did that. We're not maybe happy in the moment. It's not necessarily what we want to do in the moment, but we too often ask ourselves, what do I want to do rather than what do I want to have done? life changes when we start asking, what do I want to have done? What do I want to have accomplished today rather than what do I want to do today? What do I want to do? I want to go to Disney World. What do I want to do? I want to ride jet skis. I want to ride four-wheelers in the desert. I want to, jump off a mountain and paraglide. And there's a time and place when you can do those things, when it is appropriate. But most days are not jet ski days. Most days are not, Disney days. So I can look forward to those, and those can be rewards for getting my work done. But we don't have to wait until we feel motivated before we take action. This is a real trap that many of us fall into, including myself. So it's kind of like in the old days, if you had a car that wasn't running right or, whatever was broken in the starter, you could push this car, push it, hold the clutch down. And then as it starts to build momentum, sometimes it would start. And sometimes that's the way you got to think about going to work. It's like, I don't want to go. I mean, be honest about that. I don't like it. I don't want to go. And maybe if it's that bad, you should talk to somebody about it. And maybe it's time to change jobs or change careers. But when you're just feeling those more Monday blues, I got to make myself go to work and I don't really feel motivated, but I recognize that, but I got to get myself going anyway. I got to get my coffee, get my shower, and start moving toward what needs to be done. So I guess the point is we got to stop waiting to feel motivated. Take action first, even if it's tiny, and hope that motivation will catch up, which it often does. So just getting dressed for the gym, just opening the laptop and making yourself begin your work today, checking those emails, writing that paragraph, just making that phone call. Sometimes that small trigger can start to move you in the right direction and then build momentum and motivation. When we don't feel motivated, we have to rely on discipline. And discipline is making yourself do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. Making yourself clean your room. Why? Because you don't want to live in a messy room. Not because it feels fun. Sometimes it does. Every once in a while, if you're angry and you got this energy, you want to clean stuff, or sometimes you just get interested in cleaning things or making it right. But even if you don't feel like cutting the grass, and even if you don't feel like cleaning the pool, and even if you don't feel like going to work, you don't feel like being loving to the people in your life, you have to make yourself do what is appropriate. And this is called discipline. And by the way, guys, if you fail to discipline yourself, eventually other people will discipline you. Eventually your boss will discipline you. Eventually, your coach will discipline you. Your professors will discipline at some point, even like the police department will discipline you. So we might as well discipline ourselves rather than to wait to be disciplined by others. So days when you're frustrated, when you question if it even matters, discipline steps in and says, all right, shake it off, put your head down. What needs to be done today? Discipline means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it, even when it's not glamorous, even when it's not exciting, even when you have to do it alone. Discipline carries you through those moments when motivation is failing you, when you don't feel motivated. So ask yourself, what would your disciplined version of yourself do today? That's an interesting question, right? If you were a very disciplined person, if you were a type 1 or, something like that, and you woke up and did the right thing today, what would you spend your day doing? What have you been putting off that needs your attention? What jobs do you need to prioritize right now? What tasks do you need to prioritize? Your life could change with two things, a calendar and a to-do list. Do you keep a calendar? Do you keep it active and updated? Sometimes we can resist that tools like this because they feel restrictive. It feels like, we're giving up our freedom. But a calendar and a to-do list can really help you prioritize what needs to be done and move you to another level of success and productivity. So the last thing is this. When you do make yourself do what needs to be done, even if you only got halfway through your list, celebrate that. Don't beat yourself up that you only did half of the to-do list. Instead, look at it and say, wow, I'm an Enneagram type 7, or I'm a type 9, or I'm a type whatever you are, and say, it's hard for me to stay focused on stuff that doesn't feel exciting. It's hard for me to make myself do what needs to be done. And I got half of my list done. I'm really proud of myself for doing that. And now I'm going to get up and I'm going to do something I enjoy. I'm going to let myself watch TV without feeling guilty. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to eat something that tastes good. I'm going to reward myself for disciplining myself earlier in the day and getting those tasks done. Now, sometimes you need to stay and finish, but a lot of times it's okay to take a break and to celebrate what you have accomplished rather than just beating yourself up because you're not done with everything or you should have been done sooner. If you only celebrate the massive results, well, you're probably going to feel like you're failing all the time. And that's very discouraging. Sometimes people give up way too soon because you feel like you're failing. You may or may not actually really be failing, but you kind of tell yourself that you're failing, and then nobody wants to fail. And so you think, what's the point? What's the point? I don't even like this. And you give up. There's been many times in my life where I think I've just given up too soon. Like success or, the next level was right around the corner, but you may never realize that because you just get discouraged. And one of the reasons we get discouraged is because we don't take time to acknowledge all of the progress that's been made. So celebrate that you wrote a paragraph. You may not finish the whole page, but you got the first paragraph down. You ate a healthy meal. You ate a vegetable. Let's all applaud you because you ate a vegetable instead of eating something that just rolls out of a factory that's designed by scientists to taste good. Momentum grows when you recognize and celebrate your wins. So focus on progress, not on perfection. If you try to hold yourself to a perfect standard, you're always going to be discouraged, frustrated, angry. Focus on the progress that you're making, and every step forward counts and should be recognized, and every small win deserves some kind of acknowledgement. You're building something incredible, one imperfect step at a time, and you're closer than you think you are to reaching those results. So here's the thing. Like I said, a lot of people quit because they start thinking that I'm not doing good. Other people are doing better than me. I'm not getting the results that I want to get. This is so discouraging. It's so unmotivating. The devil, if he can't defile you or distract you, he's just going to discourage you. So you may be closer to a breakthrough than you realize. One more push, one more conversation, one more small habit change away, one more decision that you have to make, one more shift in the way you think or in your mindset. You don't see, the tree grow overnight. Right now, out in front of my house in a pot, we put a avocado pit into the soil. And guess what? There's a tree growing. There's a little avocado tree growing in a pot in front of my house. And when it gets big enough, I'm going to transfer it from the pot into the yard. And it's going to produce thousands of avocados in the future. But when you start something, you don't always see the results. I forgot that I even planted that avocado pit. I forgot I even planted it because it took time for that little shoot to start to grow. And you don't look at it after 3 weeks and say, "This isn't working. There's no avocados on this tree." It takes time. It takes time and patience and discipline in your life to see your life begin to really change. But once it starts to change, that's when momentum starts to kick in. And as you begin to heal and as you begin to get those results, it becomes very motivating and very encouraging, not only to yourself, but to others. So don't give up just because you're tired. I know you're tired, but you're doing great. You're doing great. You're getting up every day. You're being the mom that you have to be. You're being the dad that you have to be. You're going to work. You're disciplining yourself. Don't forget to take time to have fun. Don't forget to take time to be happy. If you get to 40 or 50 years old, you have no happiness in your life. Come on, you got to make that a priority. It doesn't just happen on its own. Stay in the game. Show up again tomorrow. Decide right now that you're going to do what it takes to follow through, even when it's difficult. You're going to make your bed, you're going to clean your room, you're going to be grateful that you didn't quit. So, motivation isn't magic. It isn't something that you just wait on a mountaintop to experience or something you have to find. It's something that more like you build. You build this one step at a time, one decision at a time, one moment at a time by taking action. So, here's today's question: what small action can you take today that needs your attention? Where do you need to focus that attention? Let's get out the to-do list and let's write down all those jobs that need to be done. And then let's prioritize that list and decide what needs to be done first. And as you start to bite off these tasks and you start to move through them, you're going to start to build momentum, and motivation hopefully will come alongside of you and you'll think, I'm getting it done. I'm feeling good about this. I'm starting to overcome the obstacles. There's nothing better than feeling like you're making a difference, nothing better than to feel like you're making progress. But when you don't feel motivated, you got to make yourself do what needs to be done. So thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for joining me in this journey. We're helping each other out. If I can help you, please reach out to me. I'd love to work with you, help you clarify your goals, prioritize those goals, give you the motivation. Sometimes all you need is a person in your life that supports you, that listens to you, that can help you wrestle through what you want to do for the next steps of your life. I'm here for you. If not me, reach out to somebody that you love, somebody that'll support you, somebody that'll care about you and help you reach your goals for your life. All right, guys, take care. Have a great week. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Be present to life.